Hey y'all, and welcome back to another video of My Creative Life with Kelssweetie, where we read books, we make art, and during a certain time of year, we start holiday decor hunting. I have now put out, by the time you guys are seeing this, there should be 2 Halloween videos out by now. My Halloween, halfway to Halloween tag, which was hosted and created by Lauren over on Happy Haunts Library, and Library, I'm always trying to make sure that R is in there. Library, as well as my Halloween plans, my Halloween hunting plans for the year. Both of these have already come out by the time you are seeing this vlog, where I went to the spooky swap meet. Here in LA, around halfway to Halloween, Heritage Square has a spooky swap meet where tons of horror and Halloween creators and vendors come together over in Heritage Square, where there's some beautiful, gorgeous historical homes, and they sell out their goods. And it's fantastic because it kind of marks this unofficial hunting season has started type of thing for me personally. It's like this starts, and then I usually go to Midsummer Scream. This year I'm seeing a ton of Halloween and horror related events popping up for this summer, so I'm really excited to go to some of those this year, and I really feel like this is the unofficial start of y'all seeing Halloween on this channel more. As you see in front of me, the Halloween hunting has began. All of this is not from when I went to the spooky swap meet. I just want to preface that. But I did go to the thrift store sometime last week because I was looking for an outfit for the upcoming Cowboy Carter concert, and Salvation Army had me in a chokehold, and Michaels had their things on sale, their spring things on sale, and I could see them fitting into some of my themes. And so I thought, instead of just doing a spooky swap meet haul at the end of this video, I was going to do my first Halloween hunting haul for the year. So stick around, y'all. The next video you're probably going to see of me is earlier today, when I got a really great order, a package from my friend Roxy over on Buy Bun here on YouTube, and kind of showing y'all that, since I'll be going through a lot of small businesses today as well as large businesses and thrift stores and stuff like that, and her stickers and her paper goods really kind of fit that aesthetic, and y'all should really go check her out. So I think that's going to be the next clip y'all see on the other side of this intro, along with some video montages of what the spooky swap meet look like, some of the vendors that I really love their booths, and then we'll be back here to go over all of this beautiful, beautiful goodness, because as you can see, there's not a lot of space for my storage bookshelf already. And it's just the end of April, y'all. Hey y'all, jumping right into today's vlog. We are going to the spooky swap meet today. I look a mess because we worked out and got caught in the rain. It is what it is this morning, so we're feeling good. We're feeling real good. But I did get some mail from Buy Bun, Roxy here on YouTube. I wanted to kind of, since this was going to be a whole video about small businesses and spooky businesses, I wanted to kind of give her a shout out because I did get some cool spooky goods from her shop, and she's just amazing, y'all. Like, go check out Roxy Buy Bun. And she also included some little fun, like a couple extra goodies. So sweet. I love like buying from friends and stuff because it just always feels like a little treat. Oh my god! I was thinking she was gonna put like 2 extra stickers in there. Roxy, you put far too much in here. So okay, let's get into first what I actually got from her. Oh my god, I love these. They're like, she knows me really well. Okay, I can't wait to show y'all. Okay, here's what I actually got from her shop. She did some amazing drawings. I want to say for like one of the like the drawing challenges, like Arttober. They were amazing. They were all of like houses and structures from like your favorite spooky or horror movies, and I absolutely love them. And she had released them once, I believe, and then I never saw them again, and it was like the Haunted Oracle, or, oh, she had a special name for it, but essentially she was doing them for tarot cards, which I absolutely loved, and it's what gave me the idea for my Trick or Sweet challenge that I do now, that's basically me trying to form my own deck. So she released these amazing stickers that were of, come on, focus, let's focus, of all of the houses. So this one is, I believe, Nightmare on Elm Street. I think it's Nancy's house. Yeah, it's Nancy's house, like all boarded up and everything with Freddy's hand outside. And then what's the next one? This is Rosemary's Baby. This one is the Pink Palace from Coraline. Come on, let's get in there. Boom. And this was the Hocus Pocus house. There we go. That's the Dennison's house. They're so cute. And of course they're going to go on, I think this is gonna be like my spooky, I don't know what it is. I'm gonna name it something. But so far all of my stickers that I've had on my Stanley have been like really kooky and spooky and cute. And my water bottle is like filled to the brim, and I'm happy with where it's at. So I don't know if I'm gonna place things on there. Let's get into the extras, because that's what I officially bought from her shop drop. So go check it out. I don't know if they're still available, because she only had a few, and I knew she wasn't going to drop any more after she did this drop, because, well, she said she wasn't going to drop any more of those stickers. I hope that she sold out of them, though, and I really hope that she starts doing the Oracle again, because it really was fun to see. We have Nosferatu stickers, which these are so cute. Look at his little kooky, like, he's so cute. I love how, like, adorable these were. Like, he's just no-eyed, sketchy. Like, he's adorable. Oh, the pink one especially is gonna look so cute on my water bottle. Then I have this wonderful, wonderful zombie hand eyeball holding. And it's got this, like, these really great, like, glitter. I know that there's a special term for, like, this type of sticker, but oh, those turned out so cute. Then, because she knows that I'm a humongous book reader, and actually we got back into books, like, as a unit, and I don't know what happened first, if she got me back into books or if I got her back into books, but regardless, she got me, like, she gave me basically all of her book related ones, and this is like a good representation of a lot of her work. It's just, it's illustrative, and she uses watercolors that are just dreamy. I love Roxy's work. It's just really the best. I'm gonna try and get all of them. That one, and then there's this one. Like, it's very whimsical reading rainbow, like, type of thing. Like, that's what I think of, especially with that last one. Then I have this wonderful mermaid, skeleton mermaid piece. And again, like, this is like a good representation of Roxy's work, where it's like childlike illustrative type of whimsy, like, especially like 90s watercolor type of children's books, but like really dark kind. Like, that mermaid was beautiful, she's dead type of thing, like that. And that's also like Roxy. Like, Roxy is amazing and adorable, and her heart is dark. I love this. I love this Frankenstein. And then finally, this like ghost in a shell, like dead computer situation that's giving very 80s. So loved it. Thank you again, Roxy, if you're watching. I'm going to tag her down below in the description so you can check out her Etsy shop. She also does zines and zine kits, and they're amazing. That's how I ran into Roxy after being a huge fan, after going to LA Zine Fest, and bought some of her zines, and they're really great and really great quality. But she's always doing stickers drops, and also her YouTube videos are just fantastic. So go follow Roxy. I'll put her down in the description below. Okay, in another couple of hours, we are going to Spooky Swap Meet. I am very excited for this. I will take you around a bit, but I've found that Recording is really horrible for me. I've tried vlogging out and about, but I really do want to show y'all everything. So I'm going to probably just do some pans and maybe a couple of voiceovers of some things that I see. And then I want to do a big haul at the end of this video. So stick around and hang out with us while we go to the spooky swap meet, and stick around for the haul at the end of this video. So I'll see y'all after all that. Trip. I had a really great time. Honestly, I think because I went into the swap meet knowing what I was looking for, I was a little quicker than I was last year. I also feel like this year it was interesting how they set up the spooky swap meet in relation to what it was last year. I think last year they did a better job of mixing in a lot more vendors. Like mixing in, it felt very much like they separated the vendors up. Like in the back portion of the swap meet, there was a lot of pins and witchy goods and stickers and Funko collectors and art-related creators. And then there was a portion that felt like it was resellers of different kinds, or even there was like a coffee shop situation. I did notice there were more snack type of people this year as well. I found a ton of different, I think it was a really great like type of vendors. I just think that I went in there with a plan, unlike last year. When I went, I kind of just went because it was my first time and I was really excited just to go, and I didn't really have a plan in place, and so I was just kind of buying whatever I saw. And because this year I went in with a plan, I feel like we made it out of there in 2 hours, and we spent like a half an hour talking to the amazing people over at Discount Cemetery, which I'll get into a little bit later because they were really amazing. We had a great conversation with them. It was fantastic. So yeah, we finished it in about 2 hours. I'm surprised that we finished it in 2 hours. Let's start off with what I did find at the Spooky Swap Meet, because there's a lot here that was from my thrift trips. So first and foremost, well, oh my god, now I'm wondering like if I can even start with the things I got at the Spooky Swap Meet because of the way I set this up. Okay, let's get something out of the way first that it had nothing to do with decor. Just to get it out of the way, get the ball rolling. Coffin coffee. Okay, so I know I bought coffee. I'm surprised as well, but during a certain time of year, when we're starting to get geared up to get closer to Halloween, I drink nothing but black coffee all year round. Like, just really good, fresh ground black coffee. But once it gets into fall season, there is something that happens and I start drinking hazelnut coffee. No creamer. I don't do the creamer. I don't do cream. I don't do extra sugar. I just start drinking flavored coffee. It's really weird because you would think if I drink nothing but black coffee all the rest of the year, I would hate any sort of flavored coffee. For some reason, it just gets me in the Halloween mood, and I'm not going to push it. It's usually the hazelnut, like fall blend that they have over at Trader Joe's, and I have to wait until they start putting out the fall flavored items at Trader Joe's in order to get it. But I feel like Coffin may have figured it out based off of the smell I'm getting from this. This is their Salem White Witch Hazelnut. It's a vanilla hazelnut flavored coffee, and it's a whole bean coffee. I only drink whole bean. I won't drink anything that's pre-ground now because I've been drinking whole bean for so long. I can tell when it's not fresh ground, and I hate that for me because it's now turning into a coffee snob by accident. But there you go. This stuff smells amazing. It smells like Halloween, like absolutely smells like Halloween. The hazelnut is now something, because I've bought it for so long for the Halloween time, I now associate hazelnut smelling coffee with it's fall. It's fall, break out sweaters. It is fall, break out the candles. And I don't know. I don't know if it's going to last until I'm trying to kind of have this as my pre-Trader Joe's has put out their hazelnut coffee. And also knowing that this exists now, I'm going to check them out online to see if this is the thing now. And if I'm going to start stocking up on these. And I don't want to necessarily start drinking hazelnut coffee, but it does put me in a better mood just smelling this brew. So I kind of want to save this as like a, I'm having a bad day and I need just a little bit of sunshine and something that makes me feel like, oh, Halloween's around the corner, and then drink this. Like, this is my special coffee. And if this is delicious, I'm pretty positive I can probably find them online. Yep, they have, I'm going to, by the way, if any of these vendors have websites that I can see, I'm going to put them in the description box down below. CoffinCoffeeCo.com. So if this tastes delicious, I'm going to be ordering. I don't have to worry about not having hazelnut coffee anymore, and I can only have it during Trader Joe's time until they want to take it away, as we know Trader Joe's is known for. Now let's get has nothing to do with a decor item out of the way, and this will probably be like something that's like the last, and that's the Discount Cemetery t-shirt set me and my partner Edgar got. Discount Cemetery is one of those Halloween vendors that you see out here in LA all the time. I think them and like Velvet Apparition are two of the main ones that you're always seeing at a lot of Halloween vendors. I think also Memento Mori. Like, those are the three that you're like, oh, if it's Halloween or horror related, they're probably out there. And last year I found a mom and pop VHS rental store t-shirt from them. It's one of my favorite shirts. You've probably seen it. If you go back to any of my horror or Halloween videos, you'll probably see me wearing it. It's like a ringer tee, and I love it. And so we went, and they have really great prices. And they screen print their shirts fresh. Like, they don't manufacture. They screen print them themselves, which I really love because it feels very... I don't know. I mean, it's not to like down anybody who gets their stuff manufactured. It just feels hands-on, which is really hard to find now with t-shirt brands. And it also explains, and for them to be like actually screen printing them and not just going to get them done, they are screen printing tons of shirts all the time and keeping up a high like quantity, which is a lot of work. So for them to keep their prices the way that they are, which is in my opinion pretty affordable. I mean, you see some shirts and sweatshirts out here nowadays. Like, hoodies are going for $70, y'all. That's wild to me. Like, I'm not spending $70 on a sweatshirt. Like, I've loved some sweatshirts and then had to turn it down because that price just seems outrageous to me for a sweatshirt. But they do a lot. The guy who owns and runs Discount Cemetery, which he started it with his wife and his best friend, he does the screen prints, and he's a stickler. So also, if he does a misprint of something, or, and I mean misprint like, oh, it's slightly to the right or the left, or it's not center, or just a little crooked, he's like, nah, that's not getting sold full price. Like, don't care. Take the price down. And we both got t-shirts. Now mine, I don't think that it's crooked. But I don't know. I may put it on and I'll notice that it's crooked. That's the thing, is that like both of these don't look crooked. This one they just released, so go check them out. I'm putting the link down below in the description. They just put this out, and if you notice, of course it says I want to believe on the bottom. Shout out to X-Files. And I've been wanting an X-Files t-shirt because we really went down the rabbit hole last year, and me and my partner fell in love with X-Files. And I've been wanting one for a while. Almost spent some money on one that just kind of, it was cool. It wasn't as cool as this. And the reason why this one's so cool is because the image is not the actual, of course, UFO picture that usually is on the poster that Mulder has in his office, but it's actually the Fry's storefront in Burbank. So if you don't know about Fry's, if you're not here in like in the States or anything like that, Fry's was an electronics store, and not all of the Fry's locations, but a good portion of them, especially out here in the California area, were like weirdly themed. Like I grew up knowing a Fry's up in San Jose, Northern California area, and it was designed to look like a King Tut pyramid. It was really weird. You would have to go up this escalator to go inside, and then when we were inside, there were like these statues of like King Tut and like pharaohs and all this other stuff, and they sold electronics, but the place was like, it looked like a temple. It was so weird and amazing. But one that I never got to go to, but I've heard so much about, and it's even featured in the movie Nope, is the Fry's Sci-Fi UFO Drive-In electronics store that was out in Burbank. They recently just tore it down. It's really, really sad, and they couldn't save anything because of the fiberglass on it and everything. But you could go in there, and they had like one part of it looked like it was a drive-in, and you could actually, they would play movies, and you could get into one of the cars and order food and sit there and watch movies. Or they had like alien invasion portions of it, and right outside in front, it looked like a UFO actually crashed in front of the Fry's store. It's crazy. And it no longer exists, unfortunately, just recently, and they just started selling these. And so it feels dope because it's like it's an X-Files slash like LA area lore type of t-shirt. So I snatched it up immediately, and my partner is a huge Twilight Zone fan, which is very surprising if you know him. He doesn't seem like the type, but he absolutely loves the Twilight Zone. And he found this, he found this t-shirt, and it has the New Year's Eve 1987 Twilight Zone marathon graphic on the front of it, and he absolutely is in love with it. He saw it, I think this is an older one of theirs, and he saw it last year, but they didn't have his size, and this year they had his size, so he picked it up immediately. And apparently it's a misprint. I think that maybe it's off center, but again, like, you can't tell looking at them. I think once we put them on, we may notice, but we may not. The one that I got last year, I think was a misprint, or it had a stain on it or something, but the stain washed right out. It looks completely fine to me. I don't know, but there you go. Not only did we got both of these, and we had the best conversation with the owners. They were awesome. I think that we're going to be looking into trying to interview them for Night Terror magazine, which is really dope. But we ended up talking about all the lore of the Fry's front store, and we also were talking about Nope, and we were talking about physical media and movies coming back, and Sinners, and Ryan Coogler, and all these different things. And they were just really the nicest people ever, and you could tell that they were so passionate about horror and sci-fi and movies and physical media, and it was really, really dope. And once we were leaving, they kind of gave us a couple of gifts, which was just really nice of them because they didn't have to do that, but they were just like, you guys are really dope, and we just want to give you some more things, or whatever the case is. We were eyeing, we just thought this was so cute, but it's a little like frame that goes around your license plate on your car, that says beep beep creeps, honk if you're haunted, which I just think is really adorable, and I can't wait to put that on Tyrone. That's the name of our car. I named him. He's Tyrone. And I don't know, I've always wanted like a little frame or something. Like, he's not decorated or anything, but like, and I don't really want like glitter or anything like crazy like that, but this is so cute, and it was so nice of them that they were kind of seeing us eye it, and like they gave it to us. They also gave us 2 stickers, and it just says beep beep creeps, and it has a skeleton driving like a big old like black van type of thing, and that's their whole thing, is like the skeleton crew. So go check them out. They have like a huge selection of some really great t-shirts and tote bags. Like, they had some really great tote bags, but in all honesty, I do not need any more tote bags whatsoever, which is why I did not get any, but they had some really, really great stuff, so go check them out. I'm gonna try and continue on with things that I got at the spooky swap meet. I don't think that that's going to be possible entirely as I get through some of these things, just because, especially with the VHS, I had to pull some out from where I had them stored from when I had gone on my thrift trip. So some of the VHS are mixed in. I think that's going to be a little difficult. And also I have some things behind this layer of goodies you're seeing in front of me right here. And I want to get some of these things out of the way so I can make room and it's not awkward, but we will try. We will try. I'm going to grab the first thing that I'm seeing a lot of, and that's this wonderful Frankie mask. It's silicone, like, and I think that's what this material is. It's like that soft, not styrofoam. Is that styrofoam? I think it's styrofoam. It might be a styrofoam mask. It does need a little bit of dusting and cleaning, and honestly, if I was to kind of heat it up with a hairdryer, he's a little flat faced, but I can probably, like, with a hairdryer kind of mold him just slightly back into place so he doesn't look so flat, and to also maybe work a little bit on this crease happening up here at the top. But he's so cute, the guy. So this was over at Foolish Mortals. I think that was the name of the shop, was Foolish Mortals, and they usually are a sticker and pin. And, like, if you're really into, like, acrylic earrings, which I was telling my partner, like, I remember back in the day, I loved, like, big acrylic earrings. Now, I've tried kind of pushing that agenda on me again because I really love seeing, like, what everybody comes up with. And I've learned I am a gold hoop girl now. I don't know if it's age, if I aged out of it, or if I just really love just how it looks and how simple it is and I can go crazy with the rest of my outfit or whatever. But something, I don't gravitate to them anymore. It's really upsetting. I don't know what it is, but they started selling vintage goods this year. And I was talking to the store owner, as I do, and he was telling me they kind of brought some of his own collection because he was like, the collection's getting too big and I want to buy new things and there's no more room in the house. So I've got to get rid of some of my stuff so I can get new stuff. And I said, I feel you. Honestly, I'm afraid the time is coming for me to start swapping out some things. He was selling off some of his collection and he had some really great pieces, especially for my trick-or-treat area that I'm doing this year. And I was afraid about how much this was going to be. Now, I'm not necessarily bad-mouthing anybody's specific store, but there was a very well-known Halloween vintage vendor who was there, and I love their items. Don't get me wrong, they're absolutely amazing, but they charge very antique store type prices, which, as somebody who takes advantage of thrifting and eBay and Etsy and reselling from people and everything, it feels a little scalpy and outrageous and taking advantage of people who don't really know that they can get those things for much cheaper, that while those things may have a significance and a value at what they're posting them at, most people aren't selling them for that amount of money. And if you're new to collecting Halloween, or if you're not somebody who's really on the search, it could feel a bit just exploitive. I'm not saying who it is or anything. All I'm saying is there was a couple of well-known places that were there that I'm like, I didn't even know I was shaking my head when I was looking at some of their masks. And my partner goes, why are you shaking your head? I'm like, I'll talk to you about it later. Because they were selling Ben Cooper masks for $75 and $100. I'm currently looking for those types of costumes and masks on eBay. And I'm telling y'all right now, you can find those masks on eBay for, I found a Spider-Man mask for $16 and then they added the shipping, so I think it was around $20. Right now, I'm currently working on an offer with somebody regarding a Star Wars Darth Vader Ben Cooper original 1970s in-box mask, and after the shipping's all done, it'll be $30. The idea that they were selling those types of pieces for $75 and even $100 and they weren't even licensed type of designs, they were just your regular old, that's a skeleton or that's a clown or something. Again, I just feel like a lot of people are starting to get into horror and Halloween, and if we're not welcoming as a community, people are not going to afford a hobby that honestly is something that is a coping mechanism and is supposed to make you happy. Again, as always, going on tangents, but why I say all that is because I came from that shop over to Foolish Mortals, and found this. Absolutely really loved the simplicity of it and how it was this styrofoam and very classic vintage and everything. Was very afraid of how much this was going to cost when I came up to them. The guy was like, $10. He was like, this $10. I'll sell it for $10. And not only did he say this was $10, I also, before he gave me the price on that, then told me these wonderful trick-or-treater flashlights. I love them so much. I told him that I was eyeing both of these for my area. And he goes, I think both of those, they didn't have stickers on them. He was like, I think I was going for 10 or 15 on them. Tell you what, how about for all three of them, I'll do 25. Bet. Bet. That is such a deal for this wonderful collection of, like, items. This is why it's important, because he could tell, because we had been talking, and he was very much like, oh, I can tell she's a collector. This one, which I really, really love, because you see a lot of the pumpkin ones. This is like a zombie, which was so great. It's like he's got this bulging eye and everything. I don't know what's happening with this black spot. I guess that's decay. But again, I didn't really get them to like actually light up. I just really wanted them just for the decor of like having those trick-or-treat lights. I'm still so thankful, and I think that that's probably one of the more exciting things I got all day, just because I love the vintage antique Halloween stuff, so this was right up my alley. Moving into some of the things that were up here in the front, these teeth were all from Discount Cemetery, which was great for me because with me doing my trick-or-treat theme, I can never have too many of these like fun vampire teeth, so it worked out for me. But another thing that I got was something small, and I wish that I could remember what the store was, but they didn't have a sign, and it was very, you could tell that they were like newer and that they just had a couple of things here and there that were related, but they weren't necessarily a full-on store, at least from what I could see based on like the fact they didn't really have any signs or anything. And this was like only $2, and it was this 3D printed, oh, I wish that I wasn't so far away. This 3D printed logo of Stab, which, as y'all may know, I'm a huge Scream fan. Scream got me into, honestly, it was kind of my gateway into horror and slasher films. Before that, I was a huge chicken. And when I started watching Scream, how meta it was, how it felt like just a mystery movie, that was kind of my gateway into really getting into horror movies. So I love Ghostface for that reason. And I saw this, it was only $2, and so now it's going to live on my bookshelf all year round, just to kind of show that it's nothing big or anything, but it was just something fun that I was like, oh, that's only $2. Like, I would love to have that on my shelf all year. We are slowly but surely dwindling down. The only thing that is left from Spooky Swap Meet are VHS that I bought. Yes, that's it. So I don't want to move those just yet because it kind of feels like a tower of Pisa around here. So I'm going to kind of dive into my thrift goods and what I found at Michael's. And then as I go through the VHS, which will be last, I will kind of just say I got these from Spooky Swap Meet or I got these thrifting. I think that that's the best form of attack. Let's get these out of the way first. These are my stems that I'll be using for my Haunted Mansion, Madame Leota's apothecary type of thing that I'm doing in my kitchen this year. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, go check out my Halloween, halfway to Halloween planning video. I talk in depth about all of my themes for this upcoming year. But it'll be something closely related to my witchy kitchen that I did last year, but think less cottagecore and more New Orleans French haunted quarter type of thing. Like, of course, Haunted Mansion. But, like, I don't want anything. Today, I almost bought a Haunted Mansion sign that was really, like, good quality and it looked great. But I realized I didn't want anything in the kitchen or the apothecary that literally says Haunted Mansion. I really wanted to get creative with kind of making something that felt Haunted Mansion but never said it was Haunted Mansion, which is like what the Haunted Mansion ride does at Disneyland. It never has anything on it that says Disney's Haunted Mansion or anything along those lines. It's just the mansion itself, which I really love. And that's what I'm trying for this year in my kitchen. So I got some new stems. If you've check out my witch kitchen video, decorate with me video from last year, where I go in depth about how I use these. I love to check out Michaels during the spring when they drop all their stuff down and they start going 70% off and 80% off on their items. That is when I love to go and pick up all of the foliage that I use in any of my themes, because a good portion of that stuff is still usable any time of year. They just slap a green sticker on it and they call it spring. And you could, honestly, you just have to have the foresight to be like, that's the color palette that I'm using. I can use that whenever, and that's half the price of what I'm going to be spending if I wait and buy it come Halloween time. So with that being said, they had a lot of these kind of bluish florals, which wasn't the exact color that I was looking for, because Haunted Mansion really goes off of that like stone and gray and teal and these light blues and ghosty blues and everything. So this felt perfect. I'm not going to go too much in depth about it right now for anybody who's new. Like, check out any of those videos. I'm going to link them down below. But I do take apart these stems. So if you're like, Kelsey, what are you going to do with one stem? This is more than one stem. This is like 6 stems here. I break it down how I kind of do it in that video, so go check it out if you want to know more about what that is. Or just stick around until the end of this year, closer to the end of the year when I start decorating, and you'll see how I do it then. I ended up getting those as well as these wispy willows as well. They had this grayness in them, but also this felt very New Orleans, like this type of plant, and I want to mix it in with some other plants that I have from last year's Decorate With Me. So yeah, again, these were all a part of the spring collection, and I got them at the time 60% off. They're down to 70%, and by the time the summer is over, they'll be down to probably 80%. I'm pretty positive. So you can still go. You can probably still go and check out if they have anything left. Keeping on with Michaels, I think that's probably the best to get all of that out of the way. I did get, this was probably useless, but I loved it, and it's this tassel. I think that the tassel, it's decorative and it's supposed to be wall decor. I say that as I'm like, I guess it could be wall decor, but I wouldn't necessarily see this as wall decor. I would probably first see it on a curtain sash or even on a doorknob or anything. Personally, I'm probably going to use it some sort of way. This color was what I fell in love with, and it was on sale for my Haunted Mansion theme because it also had this like silvery purple color that's at the bottom, and it felt very French Quarter type of New Orleans Gothic that I'm really going for. So I ended up buying it. I know that it's not probably going to make a huge difference to my decor. It's more so because I just really liked it. A huge thing that I'm really excited that I found was this planter. This was marked as a spring item, and it was originally $24.99, which I think was insane. It's insane because this is concrete. This isn't their usual plaster that they use. Like, this has some heft to it. So I'm really shocked that it was only 25 bucks, and I got this half off. It wasn't 60% off, but it was half off, I believe. Regardless, it's still, it was like $12 and some change. I'm remembering it now. It was like $12 and some change, which I think is really a great price for something that's this heavy and hefty. I'm going to make her a little bit more solemn. So I'm definitely going to break out some clay and kind of form it, or even painting her face a bit so that it just looks a little bit more in pain. She looks a little too serene to be at the Haunted Mansion and be a trapped soul. But I do feel like this really fits the aesthetic of everything that I'm going for in the kitchen and for Madame Leota's apothecary, without just saying this is Haunted Mansion. I am probably going to add a little bit of that like teal mossy color that we see, and like I've got to look at the color palettes and how they kind of do the statues, because I also have been thinking, like I mentioned this all in my Halloween hunting planning video, but I do think that I want to make my own statues, but I think this is a really great starting point if that ends up not being a possibility, or just as an addition. So I still can't believe I got this for only 12 and some change, but I'm really, really excited to see how this kind of fits in with everything. But it really is it's heavy for 12 bucks. The reason why I went into Michaels in the first place, to be honest, so they released their Gothic Bordeaux line, which is basically, I guess people have started dubbing the summer Halloween line that Michaels has done since last year. So last year they released something similar. It was very flowers, very, I want to call it the Black Swan release. This is when they kind of do their Black Swan release. Or last year, I guess people were calling it the Wednesday Addams release. And I can see that, but I usually don't like anything in the release. One, I think they brought these back, but there's these canisters that look like knockoff John Adler canisters, and they're not even good knockoffs in my opinion. They look really cheap, and I've kind of seen them up close, and they're not painted on, like they've got like those ceramic stickers on it or something along those lines. I'm not a fan of it, and I'm not really a fan of the full collection that they dropped during the summer, but because I am doing the Haunted Mansion type of theme that's very French Gothic in the kitchen, and I'm also doing I'm still landing on a name, but basically a Gothic type of Edgar Allan Poe-esque space on my shelves in my living room. I saw these cathedral window panes, and I thought, okay, I need to get those. Absolutely need to get those. I also needed to get them because I had a huge like discount code, and it was for only online orders. And again, I say it all the time, I'm a Michaels member. It's completely free, y'all, and honestly, they're probably, again, one of the best places to stack up points. They actually give you vouchers. You're always getting coupons. Y'all know I barely buy anything on this channel if I don't have a coupon. So you're literally losing nothing to become a member, and that's how I got both of these for basically the price of one. They usually go for $16.99. I don't even think I got them for the price of one. I think for both of them, I got them for like 13 bucks, which was crazy because of how much they usually are. And I wasn't going to wait until they were half off, or if they were going to be half off, because I know that these types of things go pretty quickly. And everybody is trying to create their mausoleum-esque type of Gothic area nowadays, very vintage Gothic area nowadays. And I feel like if they haven't sold out already, I would be surprised, because even when I went to go buy these online, I was not seeing a lot in stock in many different Michaels. So I grabbed them up, and that's why I was in that Michaels in the first place and bought the stuff that I already bought from Michaels. But I really do love these. I'm excited to see where I end up putting them. All right, we're moving on to things that are not Michaels related. As I said, I went to the thrift store looking for one thing, and I don't know if some days the thrift gods just have you. That day was the other day, and I was at Salvation Army. It was a new one that I've never been to, and I don't know if they had just opened that one, so they had a lot of great goods, or if somebody had just donated, had Marie Kondoed, and found a lot of great stuff, but I found a lot of great stuff. I'm going to start off with something that's a little off from everything else that's here, and that's this fluorescent neon bat sign. I have never been attracted to these things. And then all of a sudden you say, I want to make my living room a rental store. And all of a sudden this seems like the perfect thing to ever have. The Salvation Army was having like a half off their white tags, and everything that is from Salvation Army I'm about to show you was half off of the original price. This was 10 bucks originally. I got it for $5, which I looked underneath the tag on how much. These are those Target ones that I'm always seeing everywhere. I actually have a ton of luck with thrifting Target items. I don't know if I'm just looking in the right places or what, but this was there. It completely works. I tried it out. Target had the audacity to charge $25 for this thing. $25? I also see this in this quarter now that I'm seeing it. Oh, year round. Okay, I love that idea, but we're going to move forward. So the fact that I got it for $5, deals upon deals upon deals. But I still think it was wild that they tried to charge $25 for this. Honestly, y'all, it would take a lot for me to walk into Target this Halloween for many different reasons, and y'all shouldn't be surprised at any of them. But I was happy to find that, and that's going to go in our VHS area. I think that during my halfway to Halloween planning video, I said it was going to be Blockbuster. As of late, after doing some research, I realized that's far too much yellow and blue for what I want. So I think I'm going to go really for just a 90s VHS rental store. I found this wonderful clock. So this is going in my Haunted Mansion area. I thought that this looked amazing. It was originally $8. Got it for $4 because it was half off. I think it needs batteries. I don't want to say that it's broken just yet, but I think it obviously has not ticked or started working. But I haven't tried it with batteries yet. We'll see. It doesn't need to work. It'd be cool if it worked so that I could probably keep it out year round because I really do kind of like the look of this clock. But it did have that teal kind of patina look to it, and the foliage and everything that I think would work perfectly for my haunted mansion area. So this will be amongst that apothecary. I also found for my Halloween, my haunted mansion area, was this fantastic, it reminded me, now I know this isn't the fleur, the lit de fleur. I know it's not specifically that, but it did kind of have this flourish and stuff that reminded me a lot of it. Please don't kill me in the comments if you're from New Orleans. It just felt very much like that shape. And again, with the patina feeling very, it's like this dirty patina that is very specific. And it was $4 originally, got a half off, so this was only $2. This is when I left Salvation Army, I went to Savers, which we will get to the Savers things in just a moment. We're getting scammed. And it's all for the shopping experience of what Savers gives us. Savers is in there charging arms and legs for their items. We need to be heading to the Salvation Army, y'all. They have actual coupons. They actually put sales on their clothes. They're not just putting sales on things and taking them off of racks. And I'm positive Savers is simply going throughout the store and taking things off the rack that are the actual tag. Because it's wild for the color to be blue. And I'm like, there's literally no blue on the shelves. Y'all have taken the blue out of the shelves. I'm telling you, maybe it's in my area. Because I usually strike really well up north Savers. Maybe it's just the LA Savers that are corrupt. But Salvation Army had my back. What else did I get from Salvation Army? Let's go with the thing that's right in front of me. It's probably one of my, it's vintage classic Halloween. Y'all know that I'm so excited to show y'all this. Light stamps. I beelined it to the season section when I saw these because we never find Halloween in the season section anymore. It's like now people are knowing that people are collecting Halloween and they're not donating Halloween anymore. You just find Christmas everywhere anymore. It's really upsetting. And so when I saw this, this is what caused me to find all this stuff. This is where my luck began. Was I saw these boxes from far away, started checking them out. There was a witch that went with this. I did not buy the witch because I have this weird thing about vintage witches because of like their backstory, like ugly hag witches. I kind of have, it's a weird relationship with them because I know that some of them are rooted in racism and it's like, I don't really like that. It's like my whole thing about I only collect certain looking ghosts. It's like, that looks a little too, a certain sheet as opposed to what you're going for. You know, as a person, I gotta stay relevant on that stuff. I love the holiday, but I understand its history. We're moving back into the haul. Okay, so light stamps. I saw these. I thought they came with 2 a piece. They don't. There's only 1 in there. But considering the price, which was originally $6, and I got each one for $3. And these things have never been opened. Because when I opened them up, I was really, really shocked to see that they were mint condition. Like, I was the first person to ever open them. I think that the person maybe bought them and then they kept them in their attic somewhere and then they decided to clean out their attic. I don't know. But they're amazing. I'm going to only show you this one because I just don't want to open the other one because it was a little hard getting this one back into the box. But this pumpkin one is so cute. It has the lights included, which that's surprising. And they kind of like have this green little topper that kind of looks like a candy. Like, you know how they tie off the candies? And they have this like little round little face and it's very classic, very beautiful Halloween. This is going to go in I'm very positive this is going to go in my trick-or-treat area. So that's the pumpkin one. The ghost one though, as I said, I'm very particular about my ghost, but this ghost, when I show you the red on it, it's like one of those like fluorescent reds that just looks amazing. So Let me show it. So this is it. Now picture like a ball underneath that to round it out. Isn't he cute? Like, look at the red on this. Okay, quit folding. The red little mouth on it, it's like this fluorescent red. It's very specific to like vintage red. And like I said, like you can tell that it's absolutely vintage. It's like the white has aged, but it's never, I opened it for the first time. It's never been opened. It's not stained. Again, like all of, even the screen printing on the nylon isn't cracked or anything like that. It really is in amazing condition. I thought when I bought them that they had been opened. And so I'm kind of kicking myself now, not really getting the witch, but I understand why I didn't get the witch, so I'm still not upset with the fact that I didn't necessarily get it moral-wise, but I am like, it never had been opened. So super, super excited. I'm trying to think, where does it say when this was? 2000. So these are 25 years old. That's insane. Every time, it's insane. I do love these, and I think they're gonna look really, really adorable over in that section. Okay, this is going to seem strange, but I really think that it's going to be really perfect for my Haunted Mansion theme. These patinaed silver platters. So this one especially I really love because I don't think you're going to be able to see it from this far away. Maybe you can. I know that the middle is probably reflecting the camera back at you, which is, I kind of love that it's kind of this mirror, but, and I don't know what would have made that. Like, what would have stayed there for so long that it would have created this cut, like this cleanliness here, or if somebody tried to clean it off. I don't know. But there's this bluish patina look to the bowl that really matches the aesthetic of the Haunted Mansion blue rusting type of vibe. So I picked these up from Savor. I forget how much this one was, but I know it's probably, oh no, here it is. I was surprised with how much this one was because it was $6. And as y'all know, when it comes to the patinaed silver anything, they really like to jack up the prices at Savers. So I think I was surprised by how big this was and that it was only $6, which was crazy because the following thing I'm about to show you was $7. And that was this wonderful platter. Wonderful. Oh my God. Around the edges, you just see this gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous filigree of the roses and these like swoops and these other flowers, and it's just really, really pretty. Now, the middle of it, filthy. And honestly, there's some etching there, and I think that if you were to clean it, oh, it would probably be gorgeous. Am I? Probably not, because it's Haunted Mansion and it's ghostly, and it probably needs to be filthy to kind of feed into that. I'm not certain. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I can tell though. I can see under like some of the patina that's happening, and it really, really is gorgeous etching. It's just, I know that that's not the vibe we're really going for. We're going for something that's been sitting up on a shelf for 100 years. And this is giving that vibe with the blue patina. It's going to look so great. I'm like looking at it next to some of these items over here in this corner that are Haunted Mansion themed, and I'm loving it. I love the area that I'm going in. Getting close to the end. Let's get this one out of the way because it's something a little bit small, but it's going to make a big difference in one of my spaces, and that's this Edgar Allan Poe Completed Works book that I found. It's like a library classics book, and I also love it because it has like a little note in it that says, "With love, Marion, 1983. I don't know who Marion gifted this to, but it was nice that they gifted it to them. And I hope that it was somebody who absolutely loves creepy stories. Because this is the Greenwich Unabridged Library Classics. All the short stories, including The Fall of the House of Usher, Telltale Heart, The Black Cat, The Murders in Rue Morgue, the cast of I don't know those. I don't know any of those last ones. Gonna be honest with you. But it was $6. And I can see this is going to end up being on my shelves year round anyways because this is a great collection. But it looks really great and old and like it was in somebody's den. So this will go perfect with my whole, where are my cathedrals? I don't know where my cathedrals are, but it's going to go really well with the whole gothic look that I'm going for in my library, in my living room area where my shelves are. We are almost done, y'all. We are getting close to the VHS marathon, but I know These are amazing. These were not from a recent trip. These actually were from last year. I found them, I want to say during December, maybe this last January. Like not last January, but the January a couple of months ago. And saw them at Savers. Yeah, I'm pretty positive I got them at Savers. Yeah, they were $7 a piece. And I saw them at Savers, and I thought, no, Kelsey, you're not shopping for Halloween yet. And seeing that they're this beautiful cast iron and they look so amazing and vintage, I wasn't gonna leave them there. There's no way that I could leave them there. They were obviously vintage and they were so nice, and I picked them up immediately. And now I'm not certain if they're gonna go in my trick-or-treat area or if they're maybe gonna go like on like, you know, a table, like my coffee table or something along those lines, where some of my like classic regular stuff, and I kind of do just a regular classic Halloween scape. I'm pretty positive that's where they're gonna end up going, but it's like screwed in, like it's actual cast iron. These things are amazing, and I've been waiting basically for the last couple of months to show y'all, so I can't wait to put these all in my collection, because these you can feel are actually, you can feel that they're vintage. But yeah, super excited for these, and I can't wait to put them out with everything else. It's VHS time. This is a lot. I'm very excited, but it is a lot, because my biggest thing is that I do want the area around my television, all the shelves, and I think now knowing that I'm probably going to keep this up year round, and I don't want the problem to be I don't have enough VHS in horror. And so my main concern has been anytime that I ever go thrifting or go somewhere, if I do see something that's horror related, I pick it up, especially when I'm going thrifting, because I will say that at least Savers still sells VHS cassette tapes, because I have not seen any in my Salvation Army, which sucks, and I haven't seen them at Goodwill either. I guess certain locations still take them, but I just haven't been seeing them, as opposed to Savers that I always see VHSs there. Now, whether they're good or not, that's a whole nother question. But every time I go, I make sure and I check. Even if there's one, it's still one to add to the collection for when I finally decorate. This is what I have collected so far from today's swap meet and from the last thrift trip that I took. I think I've taken like 2 or 3. Like, I'll hop into a thrift store just to see the VHS and then hop back out. And this is what I've collected so far. I'm very proud of myself in regards to this. We will see if I end up having too much. And as we all know, last year I got too much monster memorabilia, and I didn't have enough room to put any of it. So I'm hoping that's not the case this year, but safe and sorry, all of that. I know which ones I got from the swap meet today, so let me take those out. I was surprised how much they were. They were $3 a piece, which is more than what I would get at the thrift store at Savers, which they're $2 there. But at swap meet, there were some people who were out there selling them for $8, which I'm about to tell you about. But it was a little like, they're VHS. Like, how many of us are actually playing them or something? Which I have plans to try and actually play them. It's a whole thing, but we will get into it at a later date. But I got the Sixth Sense, which I'm very excited about, because me and my partner watch the Sixth Sense every year around Halloween time. He's not a huge horror person, so when I can get him to watch something really suspenseful, I try and take advantage of it. So yeah, I got The Sixth Sense, and I got Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the original film. I do want to get the series. Now that I'm no longer going into the whole, it's got to be a blockbuster thing, I think that's also opened up, like, oh, I can get X-Files and Buffy series VHS, which is wonderful. I love that for me. So I also got the Buffy the Vampire Slayer actual movie, which is fantastic. My partner had no clue that the show was based on the movie that came out first in 1992. So it was a fantastic learning moment. Am I going to have to put a little bit of glue or like tape this shut so that it doesn't keep on flopping up? Absolutely. Both of those were $3. I also got E.T., which of course is a Halloween movie because that's when they find him. But I think I really got E.T. because this green strip that's on the VHS, they didn't do this like with a ton of home videos or anything. Like I follow somebody who like reorganizes and customizes VHS, and they like collect like special colors, which is, it's really dope, like what type of colors were coming out. It wasn't just the orange cassette tapes, like they were like light purple and stuff like that. So I was really sold on the fact that this like green cassette tape was available. And again, E.T. is considered a Halloween movie in my personal opinion, so I ended up getting this. And then I also have Death Becomes Her. I found out my partner had no idea that this movie even existed, which after explaining it to him, I realized the substance could only run because Death Becomes Her walked for them. So now I'm like, oh, I need to watch this film. I haven't watched it in a while. But I really love that I found it. I did get The Little Vampire, which that was amazing. And I don't know, a lot of people have not seen this film. And I loved this. This was a great one to pick up. Because I also wanted to have like family Halloween movies too in my collection. Like not just horror. Then at another vendor, these were $5 a piece. Which was a little bit more like approachable in my opinion. But even then, like this one again had writing on it, but it's also Silence of the Lambs, so of course they're going to charge still a good amount of money for it because it's Silence of the Lambs, and we always watch Silence of the Lambs every year, so we had to buy Silence of the Lambs. And we also got Anaconda, which I know that this isn't like the actual Anaconda VHS cassette tape box necessarily, because it does say like box office hits and all of that Columbia Pictures was obviously like selling in a set. But I love Anaconda. It's actually like a really, it's really campy and everything, but also Ice Cube and J-Lo like make it all the way to the end. So everybody always wants to talk about Brandy. Maybe we should talk more about Ice Cube and J-Lo and Anaconda. So that's what I got at the swap meet today. I am really happy with that haul. And these are the ones that I have gotten while I've been thrifting over, I want to say, last 2 weeks since I kind of pulled the plug and started like kind of actively looking for things for Halloween. The Omen, which this isn't the original cover, I don't believe, but I did really love like this red cover, and of course it just really looked classic as The Omen. This looked amazing. Have I watched it? Absolutely not. But it's from Clive Barker, the creator of Hellraiser, and it looked campy as hell. It's called Nightbreed. It's Nightbreed. It's starring David Cronenberg's in it, and that was enough for me to go, okay, I'll buy it. It's called Nightbreed. I'm hoping that even some of these that I have not watched and maybe look campy still feed into that VHS rental type of idea, because of course, especially during that time, everything was not going to be a box office hit unless you were at Blockbuster, of course. Now, I say that saying that 2 of these I got on eBay in a lot, and I got them for only $14, which is insane when you think about the fact that Halloween alone is probably about $13, $20 I've even seen it resell for on eBay. And I got a lot of Halloween and Night of the Living Dead, both on VHS. Now, their Blockbuster Presents, which was kind of perfect, or Blockbuster, and this one's Blockbuster Classics. Personally, that was perfect. At the time, I still thought I was going with the Blockbuster fill. Even now, I still think that that's perfect, and I really kind of like that they're like the Blockbuster versions of them. If you've ever seen the actual Halloween VHS cover of the vintage one, I don't think it's that impressive. Like, I don't really like it. So I really like this instead because it had Jamie Lee Curtis on the front of it and this like great scene. So those were on eBay. Those weren't necessarily thrifted per se. Then I also got Willard. This was thrifted. Willard is really creepy. I think a lot of people don't know about this movie. Basically, like he's the guy from Charlie's Angels, who's like a weirdo. He's in it, and I think Willard's actually a remake of the movie Ben, or Ben, either Ben came after Willard or Willard came before Ben. I don't know which one it has to do with, but basically the guy is a weirdo. He ends up talking to the mice in his basement, and the mice end up becoming his best friends and doing his bidding and killing people. And this is why I'm afraid of mice. Now this one I don't know as, this one definitely seems like campy, B-rated, C-rated even type of film. But I was interested in having it. I actually went back and forth on whether or not I'd pick it up. And then finally I was just like, oh, okay, we're just going to get it. It also had a wonderful VHS sticker on it. But it was called It's Campfire Stories. Nobody big is necessarily in this from what I'm seeing. Other than somebody from The Sopranos. But, and it's not a huge, like this wasn't a huge blockbuster type of video. Like, it's from Velocity Home, right? And they weren't like a, I don't know. Like, I may like look this up and see if maybe I just don't remember this. But I wasn't really like, I was going back and forth on it. And then I was like, well, if I picked up Nightbreed, then I should probably pick up this. It was in the same trip. I also got Independence Day. Now, I know Independence Day is like not a horror film, it's a sci-fi film, but I don't just want, again, like I've said, I want family films in there, but I also want some suspense, and I also want some sci-fi in there as well. I would watch Independence Day during Halloween. It's an alien movie. Like, it may not be as suspenseful as Alien is, but it is an alien movie, and it does have like some scary bits of it if you're like kind of, if you're upset by the idea of basically the end of the world happening, an alien invasion. So I still think that this fits the bill, and so I did get Independence Day, and I'm excited about that. I do want to get some more sci-fi, like I said, some X-Files. Buffy the Vampire Slayer isn't X-Files, isn't like sci-fi, but you know what I mean, like nothing too, not all of it has to be gore, y'all. I also got this classic 13 Ghosts. So I don't know if people know, but the 13 Ghosts that we all know that had Matthew Lillard in it, it's actually a remake of the classic 13 Ghosts movie. And I found this, and that was really great. Also because this wonderful illustrated cover was on it. And I wish they would illustrate covers sometimes. Again, I know that it's probably not practical or anything, but I really, really loved this cover, and although that the side of it maybe isn't like the most impressive, this side's kind of a little bit better with the purple. I was picking it up in the same trip that I picked up like Lillard and Campfire Stories, and that just felt like I couldn't just leave that there. Like, so I basically took all of their horror. And finally I found this one. Actually, this is probably the most recent vintage thrift find that I found, and it's Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders. I was looking for a Scooby-Doo VHS, and there were some today, but they were charging far too many. Regardless, I find a good amount of Scooby-Doo. Like these clamshell ones, you can usually find at Savers and while I'm thrifting, so I wasn't too stressed about it. I also really love that I found this one because I remember specifically growing up and watching this film. And so I'm really, really excited that I actually found this one. And even when I picked it up, somebody, I think that they were probably around my age, they were helping me at the cash register, and she was like, I remember watching that film. And I was like, yeah, like, it's weird, I can't tell you everything that happened, but I remember watching it. And she was like, yeah, I know, like, same. So I am glad that I picked this up. I do want to pick up a couple more Scooby-Doo movies, obviously, again, for some family fun. That's it, y'all. That is everything that I have found so far for the Halloween hunt. Well, technically also this shirt, but this isn't Halloween hunting, but I did get this off Etsy recently and I absolutely love it. It says Woodsboro Horror Film Club. It's like one of those if you know you know type of things, because Woodsboro is the town where Scream happens, and I just thought this was really great, and also like a great nod to one of my favorite characters who was gone too soon, Randy Meeks. So that is the end of everything that I've bought so far this year for the Halloween season. I'm so excited, y'all. I know that this vlog has turned into far more, and I know that I'm probably going to have to edit a lot out of this, a lot of ums and ahs and movement, but I really am excited with everything that I found so far. Now that the floodgates have been opened, probably expect, I want to only shoot for one Halloween hunting video a month, because I still gotta have the book stuff on here. I still want it to be here, and I know that I want to do book recommendations, and I know that other ideas and things are gonna come up, so I don't want to just only have Halloween hunting videos on here. I'm saying that, and I'm like, especially as we get closer and closer, that's gonna get harder and harder to promise, but we will. I'm gonna say the promise now that I'm shooting for one Halloween hunting video probably a month. I hope y'all enjoyed today's video today. If you are here for Halloween, then please subscribe down below, because we are just now getting started since it is halfway to Halloween and the content is starting to flow. If you are here for books, please don't go away, because I am still going to be doing book recommendations and book reviews, and I'm still reading, y'all. The next book review is what wrap up is coming up soon. Or is my TBR? My May TBR is coming up soon. Or maybe it's out already. I'm trying to think about when this is dropping. regardless, a book video is coming after this one. I'm trying not to do Halloween videos back to back, and so that y'all can have some time to miss it a little bit. But those aren't going anywhere. Even during the time of year that is the most Halloween specific time of year, I am still fitting in my reading. Don't y'all worry. So subscribe down below if you are here for some of that as well, and like this video if you like today's video and you like what you saw. I'll be coming back to y'all. Hopefully it'll be another month and not another 2 weeks with a haul or a Halloween event. I've been, like I said in the beginning of this video, there are a lot that are happening this summer that I'm really excited to go to, and I can't wait to share them with y'all. I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.